Our gratitude should be demonstrated every day of the year, just like the unending sacrifice of our veterans.
We'd like to say thank you so much for your service. It means so much to us that what you've done for our country.
It's my honor, and I got to tell you, you got to level with everybody. Oh my goodness, I loved it. 35 years, 2 months and 25 days. Some days were better than others, but it was so rewarding. I really enjoyed it.
I bet it was. Now, I would like to ask you, for veterans who have just came back home, what do you recommend or what do you suggest us citizens here? What can we do to make those veterans feel better whenever they get back home? For example, if we're standing right next to them at a grocery store, at the library, or anywhere else, what can we do to make them feel special?
Well, first of all, talk to them. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you especially if you can tell that they're wounded or injured. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. It's our nature, I think. It's human nature to say, well, I don't want to ask about that missing leg or that scar. But please, for veterans, say, hey, where'd you get injured? Is that a combat wound? You can ask those questions. That's okay. And you'll get amazing stories, I guarantee it. And the vet wants to share those stories. 9 times out of 10, they want to share. Another thing you can do, let's get beyond the wounds, if say hello to them, talk to them, and get beyond. I mean, this is wonderful. Thank you for your service. It's wonderful. I don't want to take anything away from it, but get beyond that. Who'd you serve with? Where did you serve? Where have you lived? Where have you lived in the world? And just begin that conversation, because that conversation is an indicator of acceptance.
Yes.
And the give and take. And I'll tell you what, you're going to learn something about life in the military today. That's a big one. And then veterans are not looking for handouts. Matter of fact, we bristle at charity. And so I'd be careful of overdoing charitable offers, and I'd go heavy on the opportunity. And so if there are opportunities for work or for school, offer that, reach out in that manner. But let the vet sort through what is right for them. Just like every human being, every veteran is individual from their individual experience in whatever service and wherever they serve. So that's another one. And the last thing is, it is so important. One of the healthiest thing for a veteran, and if there's a veteran listening to this, find other veterans. Okay, peer, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you were in the Army and I was in the Navy. It doesn't matter. Find fellow veterans, and if you have to form your own, form a peer group, or if there is an existing group, join that group. You will be surprised at how good that is to share the peer-to-peer relationship is so important when you are just coming home.
That's right. Okay. And based on what you've done, could you tell us a little bit more about what you've done for the veterans personally, on a personal level?
Well, right now, as I can't help it. Just accident of career. I commanded it from 100 people up to, a little bit. I commanded from 30 people up to 22,000. So I have this. You tell me you're a veteran. I have this natural DNA in me that is commander to those those men and women in his unit. I have this immediate affection for them, and I want to take care of them. A commander wants to take care of their units, their troops. So it doesn't matter where you are or what you do, I want to help you out. Now, my current role is great. My job title is Associate Vice Chancellor for Leadership Development and Veterans Affairs. That's 2 hats. On the Veterans Affairs hat, what I'm trying to do is and I'm completely energized to do it, is get left of enrollment for veterans. Because what happens is they leave the service, and they know that if they want to get a higher salary, a good job, they need some amount of college, better yet, a degree. So they walk in with their joint service transcript, and they say to any university, I'm not picking on PB at all, I'm any university, they walk in and say, hey, what will you give me for this? Okay. And it might be, depending on the counselor at other universities, might be, hey, that fits a criminal justice degree, or that fits this, that fits that. and the vet starts taking college, and the vet burns through their Montgomery GI Bill, the vet burns through their Hazelwood Act money, and they wake up maybe a year, 2 years in, out of benefits for education, and not in a degree program they want. And so what I'm trying to do is get left of all of that and set up programs to say, okay, what is it you want to do? Maybe some of the transcript works, maybe it doesn't, but let's put you on a path to a career, not just college credit and a job. And so I'm trying really hard to kickstart that in the UT system.
That's really good. 'Cause even with our own students, they have no idea what to do.
It's natural. It's a natural fact. But the issue with the vets now is they're older, they're more mature, and I got to level with you. I mean, I one of the things I miss about the military is I was handed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was deployed to Iraq or Afghanistan, I walked in somewhere, I got the latest equipment. When if I had a personnel problem, I walk into the personnel center and I go, hey, fix this. You know, and that doesn't happen in the real world. And so that navigation of the bureaucracies of civilian life can get frustrating for a vet. And it causes them to take shortcuts, and I don't want them to.
Okay. All right, and one last question.
Yep.
What big advice would you give UTPB students for in today's generation? Any problems that you see with us? What's a good advice for us?
Well, I don't see any problems with the generation. I love this generation. I would offer, though, that you don't need to figure it all out right now, but stay engaged in your world. Do not get caught up with a life virtual. Do not get caught up in fads. Do your best to stay engaged in current events, understand what's going on in the world, and that will help you make your way in what you should do. And if nothing else, please, 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 be a responsible citizen of the United States. Please vote. And I don't care who you vote for, but please vote. Your voice must be heard. I can tell you a quick story. I'm in Iraq. I was in Bosnia for the first national election. I was in Iraq for 2 national elections, securing polling sites and taking care. The look on the faces of people who never had a chance to vote, who never had a say in self-determination, was phenomenal. People brought their children. They brought toddlers into the voting booth so the toddler could see what voting is like and how important it was. And I had 80%, 90% voter turnout in the provinces in Iraq. And I come home, and in my country, it's at 50 or 45%. We've got to take back the representation. We've got to take back our representation, representative democracy, and we do that by participating in it.
That's right.
So that's my one recommendation for the next generation of leaders of this country.